Judges Action Group has urged the Magistrates Commission to recommend the amendment of the Income Tax Act 58 of 1962 to include magistrates in provisions granting a tax allowance or rebate, aligning magistrates' benefits with those of other office bearers, including judges. The body wants the Commission to direct the recommendations to the Department of Justice and Correctional Services, the Finance Minister, and the South African Revenue Service Commissioner. Judges Action Group founding member and magistrate and head of office at the Chitale Magistrate Court, Tebogo Mokgatle, joins us now. Tebogo, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Explain to us the implication of the tax provision in question that you're asking for a reform on.
Good evening. Thank you for having me, and thank you to your listeners. Yes, indeed, magistrates travel from home to their respective offices is treated as private kilometers, whereas judges in the superior courts, for the same kilos, they're treated as official. What then happens is that your magistrate, for the official kilos from one station to another, or from the station to the workshop or training, it's regarded as official. Those are the only kilos for which they can submit in respect of which they can submit their income tax returns and claim on them with the South African Revenue Services.
Yeah. Can you give...
We are office bound. We are office bound and therefore do not travel extensively. And that does not assist us much. So we are making representations to say our kilos from home to work should also be treated as official kilos, yes.
Is that the only reform that you're lobbying for in this instance?
It is not the only reform. Remember, judges belong, once appointed, there's a pool of cars, a scheme to which they belong, where a judge would be provided an appropriate vehicle for work and personal purposes. The same does not apply to magistrates in the district courts. We have to buy our own vehicles out of our own salary.
Yeah.
So we are also advocating for this as well.
Do you perhaps have any sense of why there is the disparity that there currently is in place between, the access to those benefits between judges and magistrates, as it were?
The successive democratic governments we've had since the coming into operation of the new constitution had neglected the judiciary as an arm of government. And it became very worse with regard to the lower court judiciary in referring to the magistrates and regional court magistrates, because the Magistrates Commission over the years has not presented legislation and policy proposition and frameworks to the Ministry of Justice and government to fast track the requirements for an independent judiciary. That's why these disparities are there till today.
Yeah. What do you say to those who say that judges and magistrates are in fact not equal, not in experience and not in competency and complexity? Therefore, these disparities do make sense.
I do not align and subscribe to that narrative. The reality is that magistrates and judges are schooled the same way. There are magistrates who are actually even more qualified than some of the judges in the High Court bench. So we understand that there's a need for seniority. There's so we understand that. However, we are saying that magistrates must be given a fair remuneration according to the complexity and quality of the work that they do and the workloads that they do. This is what we stand for.
Yeah, and are you asking this for all magistrates? Because you mentioned seniority. Do you anticipate that all magistrates would be accessing these sort of benefits that you're asking for through the reform, or only those who are considered to be senior magistrates and not those who are junior magistrates, relatively inexperienced, who really only have an LLB degree and who may be stuck at the lowest end of considerations, such as, you know, traffic violations court, for instance?
We recognize seniority, and it's there in the judicial structure of the country. What we are saying is the benefits that goes for the judges of the superior courts should be applicable to the lowest of the magistrates on a sliding scale, meaning that I, for one, do not want to, or I'm not demanding a judge's salary. I'm actually saying all the benefits that the superior court judges get, I should also get a tint of them at my level. That's what we are seeing.
So when you say fair remuneration, what exactly do you mean by that, Tebogo?
We mean all the service conditions, benefits, allowances that are applicable to the highest office within the judiciary should be applicable to the least office within the judiciary on a sliding scale. This is what we mean.
Okay, well, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Tebogo Mokgatle, who is the founding member of the Judges Action Group, joining us there, calling for reforms in the service conditions of magistrates.